If you asked an animal activist how they would end the dolphin captivity industry, they would most likely say one of two things. One might say, shut down SeaWorld or close all the aquariums. This is really the standard answer amongst Facebook moms who watched Blackfish, and if you've seen any random TikTok that happens to feature a dolphin in a tank, you'll probably see close SeaWorld in the comments section. But what about that second answer? I could argue that it's used by the more educated activists who decided that closing down all the aquariums just wouldn't be enough. Ban marine mammal captivity. I mean, realistically, this isn't a bad idea, but it only really works where animals are being actively phased out. This is what happened in 2017 when Mexico City banned dolphins and other marine mammals like sea lions from being used in shows. This only really targeted one exhibit, and the government later doubled down on their decision in 2018 when they banned dolphinariums outright. This led to the last 2 bottlenose dolphins being moved out of the city. In 2019, Canada's parliament passed a law that banned cetaceans from being kept or bred in captivity. There was an exception though, a grandfather clause, oddly enough. The animals that were currently being held in captivity could remain there. So in a way, captivity really wasn't banned in Canada. Parks like Vancouver Aquarium and Marineland Canada would continue to operate and house their whales and dolphins for the foreseeable future. Since then, a handful of animals have been exported from Canada to the United States. Yeah, that ban's looking really effective, guys. Helen, a senior Pacific white-sided dolphin, was the first of these animals to be moved, and she was sent to SeaWorld San Antonio in 2021 to live the rest of her life with her own kind. The dolphin had been on her own since her last tank mate, Chester, a rescued false killer whale, died in 2017. Sadly, a year after the move, she died. Helen was 33 years old. Around the same time as Helen's move to Texas, 5 belugas were imported from Canada's infamous Marineland Park. They were transported to Mystic Aquarium under a research permit authorized by NOAA Fisheries. The permit strictly stated that the whales were to be given birth control as part of a breeding prevention plan. But an unexpected calf was the least of Mystic's worries. Sadly, as soon as the whales arrived, they started to fall ill. Havoc was the first to pass away only a few months after they arrived in Connecticut. Soon after, in February of 2022, Havana passed away as well. The last death was Carabali, which was in December of 2023. Both Havoc and Havana's necropsies stated that they died due to incurable conditions, which most likely started during their short life at the overcrowded tanks in Marineland. At the time of the 2019 ban, Marineland had an estimated 55 belugas, but since then 16 have passed away, most likely from the same incurable condition, leaving their numbers at around 34 at the time of this recording. That's still a huge number of animals to have divided amongst their now 6 outdoor tanks since their orca Kiska passed away earlier in 2023. Activist groups have openly asked Canada's government,
Marineland, the government, nothing is being done, and we are asking some question, why is it that we need to be exposing the situation and nobody else is doing anything?
I think the answer is simple. Marineland has an insane amount of belugas and other animals that aren't cetaceans. More than any park in the world. If they shut down this year, where would they all go? Looking at it now, beluga exhibits in the United States alone are already bursting at the seams. Unless a sanctuary opens out of nowhere with enough room for all of them, the only option is for them to go to places like China, or stay where they are. And before you comment, the Whale Sanctuary Project, they've already stated they only have room for 8 whales, but I'll talk more about them later. This is the problem France is having right now. At the end of September in 2020, France passed a monumental ban in hopes of improving animal welfare across the country. This ban included a ban on keeping dolphins and whales in marine parks. The ban prevented marine parks from breeding their current animals and importing new ones, no matter if they were born in captivity, rescued, or captured in the past. This has led to Marineland Antibes, no relation to Marineland Canada, closing its orca exhibit. Well, Isn't this good news? France banned dolphin and whale captivity, so surely this means they're going to a sanctuary next. Won't it be wonderful? Yeah. When I started this script, it was December of 2023, and earlier that year, one of the 4 Marineland orcas, Moana, had passed away. That's really what prompted me to start writing this video. This section was originally me talking about how Marineland was sending the remaining whales to Japan, but things have changed. In March of this year, the rumored move was not only confirmed, but cancelled. Why? Didn't France want to get rid of their orcas? That's why the ban was put in place. It was supposed to end captivity of these animals and shut down the facilities that house them. This was the obvious next step, right? Unsurprisingly, anti-captivity groups like One Voice spoke out against the move and actually got it delayed. As of now, the animals are still being held in Marineland, France, with no sign of them leaving, at least not to another facility. One Voice and the notorious Whale Sanctuary Project are trying to negotiate a plan in order to have their whales sent to Nova Scotia, Canada. Before we continue, let me give you a quick rundown on what exactly the Whale Sanctuary Project is. The WSP is a group of prominent activists located in Canada. They started the project in 2016 by looking for potential sites for their sanctuary, and in 2020 they finally found a site and started the rigorous testing required by the Canadian government, and that would continue for the next 3 years. Now that they're pleading with Marineland to let them take their whales, that should mean that their sanctuary is finished, and they can finally start taking animals, right? As seen in this blog post by One Voice, given the urgency faced by Wikie, the now dead Wikie and Keijo, the Whale Sanctuary Project is developing an accelerated approach to provide the elements necessary to welcome the orcas before the end of the planned schedule for the full sanctuary. So yeah, it's not finished. Keep in mind the schedule has changed several times. I'd been following this project since I was in high school in hopes of seeing some of the animals that I had learned about would have a chance to live inside it. And as time moved on, these animals slowly died out, including the animals WSP themselves wanted to house. One of them was Kiska, the last captive orca in Canada. Allegedly towards the end of her life, there was a rumor that Kiska was going to be moved to SeaWorld so she could live the rest of her life with orcas, the exact same reason why Vancouver Aquarium sent their lone dolphin Helen to the United States. Obviously that never happened. Kiska passed away in her tank. Sometime after the fact, Urgencies posted a DM that they had with one of the co-owners, Lori Marino, where she says that Kiska should stay in her tank. It's no secret that Kiska was going to be a Whale Sanctuary Project's poster child. On their website, they confirmed that they were in talks with Marineland Canada and hoped that the possible sale of the park in early 2023 would give them what they wanted, despite their sanctuary not being finished. And this continues with the Marineland Antibes orcas. Their numbers have gone from 4 to 2 in less than a year. Just by looking at their tank, it is in obvious disrepair. There are rumors floating around the CETA community that allege the park doesn't have the money to do necessary repairs, and that their cost-cutting measures have gone so far that Wikie, their lone female orca, has been taken off of birth control. But that also could have been because once she was in Japan, she would be entered into their breeding program. No matter what the case is, it's obvious that the environment is killing these whales, and if they continue to stay there, it's most likely that, just like Kiska and Tokite, they'll die with sour promises of freedom. Sorry for a bummer of a first video. I didn't really mean for it to turn this way, but over the past couple of months with death after death, it feels, I don't know, right in a way? I want to know what your thoughts are on the situation. What do you think about banning cetaceans? What are your thoughts on the Marineland Antibes orcas? Or even, what do you think of Whale Sanctuary Project now that you know what's been going on behind the scenes, allegedly? I'm gonna try and pick up on a happier video next time, but until then, I'll see you guys later. Swim safe.